You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit. Today we're back on the road with Night Demon on their second leg of the Outsider European Tour. The band and the crew sits down and tells us all about the tour as they roll on through Germany and into Poland. This is Night Demon on the road.
The next day, we were getting out of Germany and going into Poland, which we haven't played Poland in a while, properly headlining. So, again, we don't know what to expect in the summertime. So the first show we went to was in Poznan, which, man, I want to say we have played. I definitely know we have played there before, but I just can't remember. It's been so long. And that was another interesting venue. Really small place, upstairs bar.
A lot of stairs. Big flight stairs.
Very hard load in and load out.
Yeah, shitty backstage. And the turnout was kind of, again, like whatever. But what are you going to expect in a place like that, in a place that small, you know? But it was crazy. There's always some hardcore fans, which is awesome. But there was one guy that, sometimes on stage, I always think I want to say something, and then I either do or I don't. Lately, I've been holding my tongue, and I'm glad, because after the show, I realized, man, I'm glad I didn't say what I was thinking there. But that was not one of those moments. This guy kept trying to come up on stage. I think it was during, we would play ballads and stuff, like Beyond the Grave or Darkness Remains, and he would get right in my face, or he would touch me, and I just, at one point, just stopped and just said, hey, look, man, come on, dude. Get up here and say what you're going to say, or here, you can play the guitar if you want, because he kept wanting that, but he didn't, and he ended up saying, fuck you, and he took he had a Night Demon shirt on, but I think it was backwards, so,
yeah, it was backwards, yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty drunk, but I guess I found out later he took the shirt off and threw it back on the merch table and left, and I was, super bummed.
I was surprised because he was not, he was enjoying his minute of fame on stage.
That's what I thought,
He was not pissed when you
He took it the wrong way.
And his girlfriend threw the bra to the stage.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, I remember, I was on stage packing up after he left, apparently, all pissed, and then he came back.
Looking for,
did you guys see a bra? Because it's my wife's. Right. It's right here, bro.
Yeah, he had to come back for the bra.
Close your windows. Hey, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but just try not to fucking, Here, come on stage. Come here. Get up. This guy's been trying to get on stage all night. He's got his Night Demon shirt on backwards. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, now you got your moment. Okay, you happy? You're here? He's the star of the show. Okay? He wants to touch us and bump the mic while I'm trying to sing you a love song. Okay? I'm sorry. No, it's okay. Come here. It's okay. I just want to give you your moment so we can have ours, okay? You want a riff? Do you know any Night Demon riffs? Okay. All right. Anyway, what was your name? All right, I guess he's staying. But I feel so all alone, trying to stop this on my own. The darkness remains. And I'm
Do you recall what happened there? You
Well,
got a different vantage point.
So I was on the merch table before your set, and so him and his wife were there, and they were just super excited to be there and really excited to see you, and very enthusiastic. Both bought shirts. Think they bought some more stuff. So then when I was on the lights during your show, obviously, and when that happened, I was kind of bummed out. Like, you know, he was such a big supporter, and then, you know.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't
happened.
like.
And then with the shirt
I learned
after,
something there.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I went back to the merch table after and served some people, and then I realized there was like a kind of wet 2XL, like I think on the ground beside it. And I think I had only sold one in that design, so I was like, oh shit, this is your man's. He's like thrown it back in disgust.
Well, at least he didn't ask for his money back, so.
He was
Yeah,
pretty
but
drunk. He was pretty
I
drunk.
learned a
Yeah.
lesson that night, you know, so you don't really know what's going on or who's who. And when people are drunk, you got to give them a pass, you know, unless they get, it was pretty invasive, but I should have just kept going, you know, so.
I mean, you didn't call him out. I remember you were
Yeah, I
pretty
did.
funny. I mean,
Yeah,
but
but-
you know.
No, I know, but I just.
You didn't say like, "Hey, fucker, please, fucking just
Yeah,
stop
but
doing it."
yeah,
Like,
right,
you
right.
were like, "Hey, just
There-
join us on stage." Just have a...
I don't know. There's a language barrier. I just got to keep those things in mind. So.
All right.
But, you know, that was kind of a whatever show. I mean, like I said, you know, we did our thing and it felt good.
Rise and shine till the chill down my back. The ship approaches the land. Oh my God, time for fun. The machine is spin. Time to win this war. Full speed ahead. We fight to the death. Full speed ahead. Take all that's right. Fight to the death. And go full speed ahead. Overboard, we swim for the show. Machine gun fire everywhere. Picking us off, one by one. 10,000 bodies hot on the beach. As I look up to the sky and see the body parts raining down. We gonna die if we choose not to fight. Now give it up, only one way to go. Full speed ahead. We fight to the death. Full speed ahead. Take all that's left. Fight to the death. Full speed ahead. We fight to the death. Full speed ahead. Take all that's left. Fight to the death. Full speed ahead. Going to fight to the death. Full speed ahead. We're full speed ahead. We fight to the death. Fight to the death.
And then we had another show in Poland the next day, going to Warsaw, another place we haven't been in a very long time. And that venue was pretty all right. But some weird thing, like what happened, I think
They were shooting a
Shooting a
commercial.
Oh,
a
yeah.
commercial
There was
outside.
some crazy film crew there with like cranes and all this crazy equipment. And we're like, what is going on? Yeah. They were shooting some commercial, right? I guess a commercial.
Yeah, it was a commercial. Yeah.
for, I don't know what. Did we ever find out what it was for?
I don't know. I remember there was like a couple, like fucking like hanging out.
And there was in the commercial like a pop star that is really big thing in the the teenagers there in Poland. So they were there just to see the guy.
Yeah, we were like, man, there's all these young kids here to see us. This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Like, no.
And I remember there was also like a rap battle show like on the little venue like next door, kind of in the same building.
This place was kind of like a courtyard, and there was the hotel was also right there, which was nice. I remember having to try to figure out where to park. Right, we had to like.
Yeah, well, usually you can park like right in front of the thing, but like since there was like all this whole like movie like production team and all these like all these like the actors, all the it's a big, every time you shoot something, it's a lot of people. There's a lot of people involved, and they had to move stuff after. So they kept asking me to move the van because it was like in the way of the trucks and everything. So in the end, I remember I moved the van eventually, and then after the show, I was like really tired. Then he asked me to move it again. And then sometimes when the parking is a little tricky, Europe is not really meant for vans and trailers. So it's very, very frequently I have to detach the trailer from the van, just to being able to maneuver. And I unplugged the trailer, but I forgot to unplug the electronics, the lights and everything, the plug. So I just took off and poof.
That's right.
And we lost all the lights on the trailer. And but we fixed it, like BNG2, like the tech guys.
Wasn't it like raining that night and shit?
It was really cold, at night, and I was there with the flashlight, like holding a flashlight in my mouth, trying to figure out the pinnage, like the pins.
Yeah, it's
the
like one of those multi-pin connectors, you can imagine.
But that one is not really meant to be open. It's like comes sealed from factory, so it was a really 2 hours or something.
It was like a MacGyver thing.
With a multimeter.
They fixed it.
But we fixed it, yeah.
Wasn't I remember the soundboard was like in a cage.
It was in the
That's
cage.
right.
Yeah.
And the lights,
It's like one of those old roadhouse like venues where you imagine people throwing bottles at the band and shit. It's like the sound guy better sound good.
There was some guys from Sweden that came to see us. Yeah, it's like, you guys never come to Sweden. We'll be back in February. So, but
I remember it being a good show.
It was good. It was
really
really
all
good.
the weirdness going on
Yeah,
outside.
there was a lot going on.
In the end, like two guys start fist fighting for the setlist.
That's right.
I had to calm him down. I go, hey, relax. It was like right before
have
the last
more.
song, right?
Yeah.
I think that might be on the tape too. Because it's right before the last song.
No, it was, I think after the last song,
No, it
like
was
you were saying
before
thank
the
you,
encore, though, right?
you were
Was it?
saying thank you, good night, and then or something like that. Yeah, I think.
That's usually when people steal the set list.
Yeah, they were like punching each other.
for the
Man,
last
that was
song.
crazy. Depends where you are. We've had some people steal it on the first song,
Oh, fucking right, Warsaw! Fuck yeah, you guys feeling good tonight? All right, thank you so fucking much for coming out tonight. We really fucking appreciate you guys. Been a long fucking time since we've been around here. Let's give it up to our tour mates, Riot City! There we fucking go. Thanks so much. That's it for tonight. One more here for you. From Ventura, California, Night Demon!
in Warsaw! Hey! What the fuck? We had a great night. You guys are fighting over my property? Put it back. Put it fucking back. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Everybody else okay? Okay, don't fight with each other physically over my shit. Okay? Are we good with that? Okay, then let's enjoy the rest of the night. And that's it for us. See you next time. Good night!
Remember, it was the last night of Casey being there. So Casey was doing merch for Riot City, and he's just an all-round good guy. This is the first tour that I met him, but obviously being on the merch table together, beside each other for that week or whatever, you kind of, you get to know somebody, and he's just a lovely dude. And lucky enough, we just saw him one of the shows we did kind of in the last week or so it was really cool to catch up. So shout out Casey.
Yes.
Yeah, bad.
So that was cool. And did you guys? I don't know if you said this already. If anybody heard the creaking door, that was me going to blow my nose. The loadout.
Oh yeah, we had to wait for.
Dude, we had to wait.
Yeah.
Of course, with filming, like everything takes way longer than anybody plans on. But we waited for
almost 2 hours.
At least or more. Yeah. Luckily, the hotel was directly across the street, but
we had to wait for it.
couldn't load anything out until they were done filming. And so the commercial was for a cell phone or something like that, cell phone company. But the premise was like people eating at a food truck and like this cafe. So they had this fake food truck, but they had real food, and they were cooking up. Oh man, this shit looks so good, and they made it like they made the food look really nice, and they had this catering truck, and me and Armand walked to the hotel after the show because we had kind of like the food we had that night.
Pierogies, I think.
Yeah, it was
just
shitty,
pierogies.
It sucked. Like it wasn't. It's just, you know what I mean. Like, so we kept eyeing it. Like, hey, And at one point I asked one of the guys on the crew, "Hey, man, you gonna throw all that away? Like, we eat some of that?" They're all, "No." So I was like, but it looked really good.
I remember.
And in a town like that late at night, and where you are, there's nothing. There's no food. So. But yeah, and actually, you're right. It turned out to be a really good show. I remember leaving a good impression on people, and like everything ran really good. And another fan of ours, Carol, who had come to the Polish shows, he also flew to see us with King Diamond recently in the States. But he was really impressed and said something about he's never seen a band like come into a place that small and put on that kind of a production, So that's one good thing that we always try and do. So.
What's up, Night Demon Bangers? I'm Karol, but you can call me Charles. I'm from Chmielów, Poland, and I'm a Night Demon addict. After spinning Live Darkness a dozen times and watching the band's gigs on YouTube, I knew one thing. I must see Night Demon live. When it was announced that Night Demon will play not one but 2 shows in Poland, that was it. I thought to myself, I'm gonna make it this time. I planned my journey, packed my Night Demon stuff for, hopefully, signing, and went for my heavy metal adventure. So the first stop was in Warsaw, Hydrozagatka Club. It was the part of Outsider 2024 European Tour with Riot City as a support. When I entered the Hydrozagadka Club, I went straight to the Night Demon merch stand, and oh boy, I was overwhelmed by the tons of stuff just begging to be bought. It was like, a Christmas day for me, I guess. I also met Laura, an important figure in Night Demon Camp. She's not only the merch girl, but also she's responsible for some technical stuff during the show. We had a nice chat about the band, the tour, and some other topics. After that, I grabbed a quick drink and I went to see Riot City. I saw them before, so I knew they were taking no prisoners. They delivered a great show, and it was a great warm-up before the main event of this evening. Lights Out, outside their album intro prelude, is rolling, and I'm shaking from the excitement. Band hits the stage, Jarvis is singing the last verses of the intro, and then it happened. Do you know how it feels when a bomb explodes near you? Neither do I, but I'm sure it's pretty similar to the feeling I got when guys started playing the title track from the Outsider record. I was totally over the moon, standing in the first row, watching the band playing their asses off and screaming lyrics with Jarvis was definitely one of these moments which stay with you for a long time. Like, everything was perfect. Well, there was no barrier before the stage, so from time to time I needed to watch out and not to get hit by Jarvis' bass. Yeah, I was that close to the stage. Guys played Outsider in its entirety, and when the last notes of the Wrath were ringing out, I didn't know what to expect. I was assuming they will play a couple more songs and the gig is done. Well, silly me. How can you stop in such a moment when the crowd is boiling and demands more and more? The boys are in the business for a while, so they just hit the pedal to the metal and the madness starts all over again with Welcome to the Night. And they just keep firing with heavy metal classics like Black Widow, Full Speed Ahead, or Heavy Metal Hit. You wanted some more atmospheric stuff? No problemo. Night Demon got you covered with Darkness Remains. And this was like a perfect balance for the high octane heavy metal, and I think it's like really good job on this one. When Jarvis started the intro for the Chalice, I knew what's coming up next. Rocky. I love this guy with all his grimness and flashy eyes. Perfect heavy metal mascot. Did I mention the gig was without barriers in the front of the stage? When Rocky stood in the front, someone grabbed his hand with the chalice, poured some beer into it, and started drinking, well, from the chalice. Rocky tried to break free, but there was no chance for it. Like, poor fella. This was probably the most funny thing I ever saw during the show. And the chalice is done. Jarvis said thank you, and the boys started with Night Demon, and I'm torn apart. On the one hand, man, I love this one. It's like a essential Night Demon song for me. On the other hand, I knew this was the last song of the evening. The whole band went crazy on this one. Brian was pounding his drums like a maniac. Jarvis and Armo were running around the public. Pure madness right there. Just the signature jump at the end, and that's all, folks. Show's over. I remember I was just standing there holding Jarvis' pick and thinking to myself, what the hell just happened? That was mind-blowing, man. I expected a lot and they exceed my expectations like 100 times. Something incredible. A few moments later, I spotted Jarvis talking to the fans, so I rushed to meet him, and it was just perfect, you know. First of all, I threw on Jarvis a lot of my Night Demon stuff. He said, wow, you got so much of your stuff, thank you for your support, and signed all of them. He also gave me his wristband, and we spent a good while on chit-chat. In the meantime, I also met Brian and got his signature on my tour book, so this was like the perfect ending of a perfect gig.
It all looks so familiar though.
Well, that's it for this week. We'll pick it up again next week in Poland when Sirith Ungol once again joins Night Demon in Poland. So stay tuned for that. As always, I'll mention all the shows, the full live audio from every show we featured on today's episode is available in the subscriber section on nightdemon.net. Check out the website to see how you can become a Night Demon subscriber and get access to all of the bonus content up there. There's hundreds of live tracks, live videos, photo galleries, unreleased tracks and demos, bonus episodes. Too much content up there for me to list it all. And it gets bigger and bigger every week. So again, that's nightdemon.net for more info. Until next time, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Hold on, don't let go. You only see what you want to believe, like it or not. Welcome to the blessed night. Yeah!
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time, all the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.